All hits all the time. Star 98.3. Good morning, everybody. It is 7:34. Our phone lines are open for you. If you want to give us a call this morning, you can absolutely do that at 1-800-STAR-983, 1-800-782-7983, online at star983.com. If you're just getting up and around this morning, yes. That's the real temperature. You're not. It's everywhere. Everybody's house is freezing this morning. We have a guest in studio.
Yes, indeedy.
Chris, you want to swing that mic around
there
to
you
you?
go.
There you go.
Chris Chaffee, he is in studio with us today. He is running for the 5th Congressional seat for the great state of Maryland, and you are a little bit early, but we're always glad to have you. I like early. Better early than late.
Better early than late.
Better early than late. So, Chris, tell us, how is the campaigning going? I mean, are you, what are the thoughts, and how are you polling?
Oh, the campaign is going great. Polling, I haven't really done a poll, only by the individuals that I've been knocking on doors and shaking hands. Everybody wants a change right now, quick. What's going on in the United States is just, a big meltdown, big breakdown.
What do you see as some of the biggest changes that need to be made in the U.S.? Because you'd be, if elected, you would be Congress. You'd be right there in the Beltway. What do you see as some of the biggest changes that need to take place for the United States?
We need responsibility and accountability now. We have so many things going on in the United States that nobody's accounting for. We definitely need lower taxes, in Maryland, in the state of Maryland. But in the Fed point, we need responsibility right now.
So let's find out a little bit for folks that don't know much about you. What's your background? What led you to this?
What led me to it, I'm a small business owner. What led me to it is I'm an American, and I'm fed up with what's going on in the United States.
Okay.
Plain and simple.
Now, you're jumping kind of into the deep end of the pool here.
That's okay.
Okay.
I've been in the deep end of the pool my whole life, so that's fine.
Some might say if you were going to get into the political realm, and like you said, you're a small business owner, so you ventured into politics. Why do you start at such a high level? That might not be the right words, but you know what I'm saying.
Why jump in against Steny Hoyer? The incumbent's been there for 32 years. Nobody needs to be there for 34 years, period. It wasn't set up for that. Our forefathers didn't plan on that, and we have to make this change right now. This message needs to be sent across the United States that nobody needs to be in Congress for 34 years.
Okay,
period.
You're a fan of term limits.
I'm definitely a fan of term limits.
Well, let's say you pull it off and you actually win. How long are you planning on staying in?
If they can put up with me, 3 years. 3 terms.
3 terms.
3 terms, 6 years.
6 years.
If they can put up with me. Basically, I just hope the rest of the Congress can keep up with me.
All right. Well, so
period.
Again, let's say you actually do win. What do you hope to accomplish up there?
I hope to accomplish some responsibility. I hope Congress will do what they're supposed to do, and not just Congress, Senate also. They'll do what they're supposed to do, and we're supposed to work for you, period. We're supposed to listen to the people of our constituents, what's going on in our areas, Maryland, basically. We're being overtaxed, we're being overregulated, businesses are being pushed out every day. These small businesses have broke their backs for us. We have to pay them back.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What are your main goals? I understand what you're saying, okay?
Right.
Yeah, but it sounds like you're painting with a very broad brush. I want specifics from Chris Chaffee. When you go up there in the Beltway, you have to have 2 or 3 things that are just stuck in your craw, and you want to change. What are 3 specific things that you would like to change?
Okay, well, there's been a lot of things. I can't just narrow it down to one thing, but during this last 6 months of running against the incumbent, there's been so many things that have happened, starting with ISIS. We've got to take some responsibility. We promise all these countries that we're going to have their backs. So there's one of the things that we have to change.
What would you have different there?
We're going to own up to what we say. There, period. If we're going to honor that we're going to back a state, country, then we have to back the country and state.
So would you
We have to fund them. We have to put boots on the ground, period.
So you would be in favor of boots on the ground?
No doubt.
No doubt. So you think that we failed Iraq? When we pulled out, we failed Iraq?
When we pulled out at the time, we pulled out, yes. The president and the administration knew exactly what was going on. ISIS is just another word for Taliban. They knew exactly what was going on. when they did this.
That's not a very popular sentiment, though.
The boots on the ground.
The boots on the ground is not a very popular sentiment right now.
Where does it go if we don't? Bottom line.
Yeah.
I mean, is it going to expand to our country? Is it going to expand to other countries?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things
I hope not.
I hope not too.
Yeah. One of the things that the seat you're running for, the incumbent that you're running against, one of the things that he has always championed is the base.
Right.
And what do you see as far as Maryland's relationship with the base? How would you defend the base as vehemently as he has?
Look, he's done a good job at the base. I'm gonna honor that. He has done a good job at Pax River, and I'm gonna do basically everything that he's done to keep that base there. Basically, they've been talking about the wind turbines out in Somerset County. I'm definitely gonna make sure them wind turbines never get erected, so that doesn't interfere with the radar of the jets flying around. But everything, we're gonna keep on funding that base and making sure that there's more money coming to that base. And I'd like to see the base expand. We haven't really had a big expansion in that base in the last 7 years. I'd like to see that base expand. So, I'm going to do everything I can to keep that base there, and I want everybody that is at that base to be brave and come out and vote this November, and please vote Republican and vote Chris Chaffee.
So, one of the things I've asked almost every politician that's come through here, the base is fantastic, but the base is one big egg. And what happens if there's a downsize or, God forbid, the base was to realign and move? We have all of our eggs in this one basket. How would you bring in new business? We need to bring in new business. We can't put all our eggs in one basket with this base because things can happen. So what do we do if the base closes?
We definitely need to bring more businesses to St. Mary's County. There's no doubt. Calvert has Dominion that just got approved, so we've got a lot of jobs going over Dominion. But St. Mary's County needs to have jobs right here in this county. We need to stop sending them up to D.C. So we need to lower taxes for all the small businesses, make incentives for the small businesses to come back here, give them tax breaks. But we also got to get them funding. We can't just tell a small business that he's going to open up a small business and be in business for 15 years, and then when we go through a downturn, cut his funding off and chase him away. So we've got to make sure funding's available. It's got to be private funds. We got to have private funds mixed with the little state and federal funds also.
Okay.
Let me ask you this, because we had talked a little bit about it this morning, and if you would be within the Beltway, it's international at that point. It's an international job, and
correct.
What about Russia? Russia and the whole craziness that seems to be going on over there. T had mentioned this morning that there's a submarine. Where is it, T? The Swedes off the coast of
They're
Sweden?
picking on the Swedes for some reason.
Exactly right. And then you have, them invading, or at least Russia is supporting certain groups, over in Crimea. And so what do you do do we have another Cold War? I mean, are we just...
I don't think we have a Cold War, but I do believe the President of the United States and his administration is irresponsible for letting it happen of what's going on. I mean, basically, it's getting colder. It got cold this morning.
Yeah.
Europe's going to need some fuel, and where are they going to get this fuel at? So the whole objective is Russia is going to be selling fuel to Europe, and eventually the fuel price is going to go up, and it's going to hit us back at home. So we have to make sure that Russia isn't just doing this over fuel. Like that happened in the 1970s. It's almost exactly the same thing as what's going on in the 1970s in Russia.
Well, let me ask you, and this is kind of a roundabout question, but one of the things that your opponent has in Congress, I mean, he's got a lot of connections, he's got a lot of pull, and that does benefit Maryland. I mean, there's no getting around that. I mean, he's got a lot of gravity with him. What are you going to do when you go up there? I mean, are you going to be one of these contrarians that I know I probably would be, but I don't think
absolutely.
Listen, I would vote no on everything. Sky blue, no. So, what are you going to do when you get up there? What's going to be your demeanor? How are you going to work with these guys?
Look, I make friends quick, and I probably make enemies quicker. So I guess that's what I'm going to do. I mean, the incumbent is so entrenched in everything he touches. He receives PAC money from everybody. He is entrenched with everything. There's probably nobody around, no large business, no unions that he's not in touch with. But I will back everybody that I need to get this job done to protect Maryland's responsibility.
Are you ready to vote across the aisle? If
Definitely, 110%. I'll vote across the aisle if I have to. If it's the right thing to do, it has to be only for the Maryland people. District 5, only for District 5. And if it makes sense for what's going on right here in District 5 in the United States, then I'll definitely vote across lines. Yes.
Let me ask you this because I just read an article the other day about Social Security. It was in Time Magazine, and they were talking about Social Security. T and I have already resigned ourselves. The Social Security is not going to be there.
No, I'm going to live under a bridge.
Right. Well, I mean, probably and Billy Goats will cross over and riddle me these questions 3. But what would you do to shore up Social Security? Because people who are getting Social Security right now, they don't want anybody to touch it. Like the Medicare, Social Security, they like the way it works. Leave it alone. I got news for you. Somebody's going to have to be brave enough to step up and say, listen, something needs to be done. Or the people who have been paying, they're never going to see a check, ever.
What about the unpopular topics?
Social Security is a bad situation right now. I sat down with a young man who actually does the computer link for Social Security, and he does the models of how much money really is available. And the disability Social Security system is broke. In 2 years it's done. So if they don't fix it now.
Wait a minute. Wait. Check that. Hold on. In 2 years?
2 years.
Wait a minute.
His model. His model.
Oh, his model.
His model in his program in 2 years, if they don't do something and grab a hold of Social Security disability now, it will be 100% broke. So it has to be fixed now. Now, how do we fix it? That's
how do we
real
fix
question.
it? I mean,
not just disability, regular Social Security.
The answer that Democrats are always going to come to is taxes. So, you got to have more money.
Well, I think taxes is going to, no doubt, we're going to have to tax. Now, who do we tax? I think we're going to have to tax these illegal Spanish that have been here for the last 15 years, been living for free. They need to pay us.
Do we have a lot of illegal Spanish people here?
Well, I mean, I don't know. You tell me. 10 million, 30 million of Latinos have been living here.
Latinos, possibly, yes. Not the Spanish.
That's correct. I apologize for that.
Okay.
That's okay. Latinos have been living here, not paying into Social Security.
How do you find them?
I mean, they're not going to show up and go, oh, yeah, I'm ready to pay.
We have to start a program. We have to start. I mean, we have to start something. We can't just immigration. No amnesty. Absolutely not. No amnesty.
What are you going to do with the southern border?
Hold on, one thing at a time.
I'm going to
want to jump on the southern border.
Let's
go to Social Security. We have to tax the illegals that are here. We're going to give them numbers. A lot of them already have ID numbers. So we have to tax them and make sure they're paying into Social Security. That will be a first start to help our Social Security administration.
But isn't that just a step to further?
We have to take baby steps to get to a big step.
Okay, I won't argue that, but isn't that? But to go back to what you said before, if you're going to legitimize them, which is putting them on in the Social Security system, isn't that just a further step towards the amnesty?
It might be further step of making them forced to become legal. How about that? It's not going to give them amnesty. We have to force them to become legal. If they're going to stay here, we have to force them to become legal. I'm not saying give them amnesty. Give them amnesty isn't forcing them to become legal.
You want them to pay taxes, though.
Yes, I want them to do the right thing as everybody else did the right thing,
okay.
Period.
And what if they say no?
What if they say no? Then the ones that say no, guess what? They got a free ride back home.
What do you think about kids who were brought here, Chris, when they were 2? Infants, babes in arms. Do you believe in the DREAM Act? Do you believe in...
I believe they've earned their right, but only if they pay into the system.
Right, and become
we all have to pay into the system. Mm-hmm. Look, everybody has problems in this life. Everybody. If there's not a person here that doesn't have a problem, everybody has problems. But they have to pay into the system, period.
Well, let me ask you
They have to earn their way. They have to, I'm a firm believer English is the first language in the United States. We have to push that. Now, I have no problem with people learning Spanish. I mean, Spanish is a great language. Everybody should learn Spanish, but don't force it on us. Just because we're being
because of forms and the banks.
Exactly.
When you press 1 for English, press 2 for Spanish. You don't like that. You want that gone.
I'm not real happy with it now.
Well, let me ask you this, and again, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I do think you're accurate in saying that our systems, our entitlements, if you will, are in jeopardy, and there is there's a big train coming. That light down at the end of the tunnel is not the sunrise. It's a train. So your answer to this is, well, listen, we got some folks out there working who aren't paying their fair share. If you are to take what is commonly reported to be true, and let's just say that it is, they're working minimum wage jobs in most cases. How would that ever be enough money to offset this catastrophe of entitlement we have?
We have to start somewhere.
Okay.
Period. We have to start somewhere, and it's not about them not paying their fair share. It's not about that. It's about paying the right way. It's the way everybody else has to do it. Mm-hmm. Everybody else in America has to do it. If they come to our country and they want to be Americans, they have to do it.
What about
Period.
What about healthcare? What do you think about healthcare and the way the healthcare system is going right now? Because I hear a lot of people, they're thrilled with it. People who have not had healthcare in the past, now they do. They love this new program.
That's great. I'm proud of them that they have free healthcare.
I don't think you're sincere.
I'm hearing some sarcasm, Chris.
Healthcare costs are killing us. Let me ask you, how much is your healthcare?
A lot.
$1,600 cash.
$1,600
Every single month.
Is that considered an affordable healthcare to you? Seriously?
For me, no. Not with how much we have done. No, we don't.
Okay.
We don't go to the doctor that much, and when
No.
we do, usually it's tea because he has a plugged up ear or something.
And what happens one day if you can't pay your healthcare? I want to know that.
It's gone.
Yeah, they take it away.
And
they
then
drop me.
And then 2 weeks later you get sick.
Probably, sure.
Of course.
Then what happens?
Well, then I go bankrupt.
And then
I die.
the problem with healthcare is it's not being fixed. It's just being patched with some affordable healthcare rule that's not affordable. It's coming with like an $8,000 deductible. How is that affordable? If somebody says, "Oh, I got free healthcare," that's great, and they go to the hospital, they get all patched up, they get better, and that's great. 3 months later, they get a bill that says $8,000. So how is that affordable? Then they go bankrupt. So the ones that say they're happy, they obviously haven't received their bill yet. Right. Because when their bill comes, they're not going to be happy anymore.
All right. Especially with
so
the
we
deductible like that.
definitely need to do something with it. So it's something that I would address as Congress. I would like to revisit it.
Right.
Very first.
His name
it's one
is
of the first things.
His name is Chris Chaffee. He's running for Congress. We got just a minute here. Is there something you would like the folks to know about you as a candidate?
Well, my name's Chris Chaffee. I'm a business owner, and I've lived in Calvert County for approximately 25 years. But I love this country, and I will fight for this country.
Good.
Win or
Good.
lose.
Good. Well, listen, Congress's approval rating this morning, I looked it up, it was 13%.
Oh, my gosh.
13%. Not very impressive. So I don't know. Listen, Chris, good luck to you, sir.
Well, thank you.
I'm sure your approval rating is much more than 13%, Chris Chaffee.
Well, I hope so, too. But, hey, thanks a lot. I'm sorry I came early.
No, that's
just glad to get you in here.
We're happy to have you early.
And God bless everyone.
All right. Thank you,
sir.
Chris.
It's 8 minutes in front of 8 o'clock, 7:52.
For today, patchy frost this morning. Otherwise, mostly sunny with a high near 67. Tonight, increasing clouds with scattered showers, a low of 51. And for your Tuesday, mostly cloudy with showers likely, a high near 68. Currently 41 in Mechanicsville. We have 42 in Prince Frederick, 41 in Waldorf. Right now, let's take a look at traffic with Alex.